How's it going today, guys? Back today with another video talking about the things that I have up in my studio. And today's topic of discussion, the album Mama's Boy by LANY. So as I continue to talk through, all of the things that I have within my studio, the only thing consistent throughout all of them is that they're fundamental to my life in some way, shape, or form. A lot of them have to do with music because fundamentally, I'm a huge music fan, and music is something that is a part of my life each and every single day. I go to pre-COVID, and post-COVID. I'm a huge concert goer. I have music playing all day, every day as I'm working, and how does someone who is just a big avid fan of music actually get across that they're an avid fan of music without just sounding like everyone else? Like, oh, I love music. Yeah, music is cool. I'm not really sure, but whatever you would expect a big fan of music to be, times it by 1,000, and that's me. LANY, why are they on this list? So as you go through life, I think there are bands, there are artists, musicians, singers, whatever you want to call it, that really pinpoint and hit at a certain point that you need them to. Whether it was 50 Cent, when I was 5 or 6 years old, whether it was Taking Back Sunday when I was in 7th grade, whether it was, and I don't have anything up for them right now, but whether it was, I Alaska, around 8th grade, Rod Stewart in high school, Justin Bieber late in high school, Noah Gunderson in college. LANY is another band that is on that list for me. And they were a band I started listening to about 3 or 4 years ago, very similar, around the same time to Russ, actually. I heard them for the first time. I was watching a Coachella stream in the background while I was doing some work, and the song Hurricane dropped. And once again, like, those of you who have these stories, like the first time I heard that song, I remember exactly where I was. I remember what I was feeling. I remember, that's the situation here. So I literally stopped what I was doing, stopped working, and I was just glued to the freaking computer screen. And I'm not sure how many more songs that they had within the stream, but all I remember is being absolutely glued to the computer for the rest of it. And then the second that it was over, I immediately dove into their catalog. So this was, I think they had the first EP out at this time, their first EP, and then they were touring their self-titled album, LANY. I was in love with the album. I thought Paul Klein, I immediately fell in love with that guy. I think he is, growing up an emo kid, and this is so funny to say out loud. I've said it in small circles, but to say on a video. Growing up an emo kid, there's a certain perception that, how the world sees you and how you see yourself, how you think you look, and then how you actually look. And I was always the latter. I looked like a complete idiot. I had the swoop, I had the whole thing, I had the band tees. But Paul Klein is literally like who I thought I was and who I thought that I wanted to be, in that phase. That was the everything image. So I just think his style, his aesthetic, I just think he is an awesome dude. I think like I said, I think his image is literally everything. And if I could pull it off, I absolutely fucking would. Going into the actual music, the music is tremendous. It's crazy. They make music that I would consider to almost be, previous to Mama's Boy, but there's still some of those gems on here. But I think that they really branched out on this record a lot to really kind of go outside of their usual box that we kind of heard on Malibu Night or the self-titled album, where I would say it's more of the breakup songs, more that kind of mood. But what's absolutely crazy to me about this band is that it's not the generic. They don't do it in a generic way, which isn't a bad thing, by the way. I never use the word generic to mean something bad because, I think it's similar to how Dave Portnoy does the pizza slices. He's like, this is a generic pizza.
It's just good, basic, standard pizza.
And people go, oh. But no, a good pizza is a good pizza. It's not saying it's a bad thing. And generic, rock music, generic pop rock music is not bad. I fuck with a lot of it. But they don't fit into that. They are literally so much more, where it doesn't matter if I'm in a happy mood, a sad mood, a pumped up mood, or I just want to hear chill songs. Their albums fit. And I don't even mean like their albums like you pick and choose songs. Like the same songs can fit into each of those boxes. And there are very few artists that I think that achieve that and that accomplish that. And I remember just, playing these songs through different moods and vibes and like loving them for different reasons within those different moods. And like I said, like not many bands can achieve that and really transcend to that level. And they've absolutely achieved it, and they just continue to hit. The LANY album, then into Malibu's Nights, and now into Mama's Boy, and I know that they're working on album 4 right now. Literally every album has become, a staple to where I can like know where my life was at, when I first, listened and got into these albums. And they've just truly grown into one of those GOAT list artists. And what I mean by GOAT list artists, people throw the word, greatest of all time and stuff around so much, and all of that is strictly opinion based. But as someone who loves music as much as I do, and if you're someone who's watching this who either loves music, or maybe you love movies, or maybe you love food, we all, love tons of whatever it is. If you have a passion for, a certain, hobby or industry or this or that, you're obviously going to love it through and through and have a very grand list of everything that's enjoyable within it. But we all have a GOAT list. And that's, if push came to shove and you had to make a list of your top 5 or your top 10, who would fall within it? And I personally have a list on my phone, on Apple Music, of my GOAT song list. And I spent way too much freaking time on building it. My top 20 songs of all time. And Hurricane by LANY is actually on that list. But if I had to make a GOAT artist list, I've never tried. I've never actually gone after it. But LANY would absolutely fit that bill. I want to say top 5, but I'm just off the top of my head. You got TBS, you've got Rod Stewart, you got 50 Cent, you have Russ, Alaska, LANY. And I know I'm omitting 1 or 2 just because I'm only looking at the ones I'm looking at. Abso-freaking-lutely top 10. I'd have to give it a lot of time and thought, but potentially top 5. But for someone who listens to as much music as I do, for someone who's been to as many concerts as I've been to, not saying my opinion carries any weight whatsoever, but LANY is absolutely on my list, and I could not provide a higher recommendation for anyone who's a fan of rock, pop music. They've perfected a formula that they continue to deliver on, and I would highly recommend that you check them out. But I would honestly just go in order. Start with the first EP, go to LANY, Malibu Nights, and then work your way to Mama's Boy. And yeah, you're welcome. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to talking with you guys again soon. Have a great rest of your day today.